Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Peculiar Patman, and this is the channel where we discover up history. It's where we'll be looking at various different subjects that have happened all over history that are, well, up. Please be aware that viewer discretion is advised, as sometimes we talk about some very shifty stuff. There will be some topics of unaliving animals, unaliving humans, and also we will be closing off on a story of the apparatus of what was used during childbirth back in the day. I will also be linking all of the sources below the video, so if you want to know where the original stories come from or you want to just know a bit more information on it, they will be linked below. So without further ado, enjoy. The cost of living is a crisis that everyone is pretty much involved in, especially if you're living in the UK. It's pretty blooming bad here. So with the cost of living, everything goes up. People in America are getting it as well. However, things throughout the years, depending on what kind of family you're in, things can be very expensive. And a few parents back in the day, 1913 to be precise, was very expensive for train fare. And I mean, train fare now is still very, very pricey. But some parents took it into their own hands to think, right, train fare is actually really, really expensive. So how are we going to send our babies to their grandmother's house? So they decided, oh, actually, there's a little bit of a flaw in the postage system. So they thought, right, okay, how about if we just give our baby to the postman, wish it on its little merry way, and say, good luck, hon. Laters. So that's what they did. So there was actually a period of time when people used to mail their babies across the country, which is pretty crazy. Why would you rely on a postman to just deliver your baby? I don't know. When I think of mailing babies, it just literally makes me think they're shoving it in the back of a van and then just like, you know, them videos where you see them like with the envelopes and then all the envelopes just go into the big machines. It just makes me think that someone's just chucked their baby in there and then just gone, yeah, good luck. I think that's kind of child abuse, if I'm completely honest with you. And this was actually quite a regular occurrence back in the day. And this is because there was a flaw in the mailing system. So if your mail was £50, that's 50, if it weighed £50 or less, you were able to mail it. So people just kind of thought in their, I don't even want to say right mind, because you're clearly not in your right mind if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to post my kid. That's okay. That's fine. Across the country. Crazy times. So this actually started in 1913 with a little baby called James. He was 11 pounds, so he reached the weight requirement. So they mailed baby James for 15 cents, which in Great British pounds is £4 and 64 pence, which is pretty crazy. I mean, if that was in American dollars, it would be $6 and 22 cents. So absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could probably get like a McDonald's or something with that. Crazy times. So this happened in Ohio in America. It started in 1913 from the earliest date they can sort of recall. And it just sort of kept going on from that point. The weird part about it is, even though it cost not that much to sort of send the babies by, they would insure them for about $50, $50. So it would cost more to insure the babies, but I mean, to be quite honest, you probably have to, wouldn't you? Because if you lose your baby, then it does make me think though, if you've insured your baby and then what happens if you do, what happens if they lose it or they cause damage to your child? Like, what do you do then? What, they lose your baby or your baby accidentally gets unalived? What do they do? Just replace it with another child? Just go to an orphanage and be like, there you go, you can pick a new one if you want. That's so barbaric. However, this wasn't just babies that were mailed in the post. It was actually older children as well. Just as long as you've met your weight requirement, then you're absolutely fine. This also included animals, so pretty much anything. There was a 4-year-old called May Pearston, and she was sent through to her grandparents over 73 miles away. This was because, I mean, it was a trusted society in early 20th century, so people just didn't really bat an eyelid about it, really. So our next one is about cats and a pope called Pope Gregory. Cats, I feel like they're extremely temperamental. I've never really been much of a cat person, if I'm completely honest, until my sister's cats, because I mean, I'm really allergic to them. They just make my eyes flare up, so itchy, constantly sneezing, and I feel like they just attack you over absolutely nothing. Um, Whereas I feel like I'm besties with my sister's cats now, so it's actually kind of made me want to have some. Anyway, there was a pope called Pope Gregory the Ninth from the years of 1233 to 34. He wasn't keen on cats at all, and it's probably because of their temperamental attitude. And how much of not a fan was Pope Gregory, you ask, of cats? So much to the point that he declared war on them. Why do you ask that he had such an issue with them? He actually thought that they were agents of Satan. So, how you get on that, I have no idea. Again, probably going back to the being temperamental, they probably scratched up his Pope hat or something, maybe scratched his sofa up or whatever. I have no idea. But yeah, agents of Satan. So yeah, you probably just didn't train them right, hun, or give them the catnip when they wanted it. If they even had catnip back in them days, I don't know. Don't know what that's made out of. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been there with cats before, where it's like you'll literally just be stroking them. Like my sister's cats, I will be stroking them. Actually, one of them is literally clung to me. It's like a dog. Absolutely love that one. But her other one, it's like I'll be stroking it, and we'll be the bestest of friends. And I'm like, oh my god, I've made common ground with it. It's fine. It absolutely loves me. Let's come in for a little hug. And then out of nowhere, it would just scratch me and be like, you're done. You're done.
You're done. You're done.
That's what the Pope was like. But anyway, this is actually a really sad one because, I mean, the war on cats, that does sound a bit weird. When I think of war on cats, it just kind of makes me think of like the medieval films when you've got like a whole group of people here, a whole group of people here on like Narnia or whatever. And they just kind of like all go, and then they just all go in the middle and just start banging each other out. That's definitely not the right terminology for it, but do you know what I mean? It was actually not like that. So what they meant by the war on cats was it was basically just a mass killing of cats. So you just see a cat and you just kill it, which is really, really horrible. It's really not nice. But what actually happened overall with it was they believed that Satan had thought.
Oh, you're killing my babies. You're killing my little spawns of Satan.
So this actually led people to believe that the Black Plague, so the Black Death, Black Plague, same thing. This actually led people to believe that Satan was just so annoyed of, oh my god, you've killed my little spawns of Satan. There you go, you can have a little plague there. So people were obviously really panicked about that, but then it kind of makes you think as well with historians and how much they researched it, and it does make a lot of sense that the plague would have actually probably been a bit worse just purely because cats could not kill the rats. So a lot of people think that the plague was actually caused by these rats, but it wasn't. It was actually fleas that used to jump on the rats and then used to just infect everything. So obviously the rats didn't help, but the rats being the carriers, what normally goes for rats? I'll give you some time to think about this one. And if you guess answer number B, cat, you got it right. Thank you for playing. You win absolutely nothing. Anyway, so obviously, as you can guess, historians thought that this could have made the plague 10 times worse, just purely because there's more rats around and there's no cats to sort of get rid of them. I mean, cats used to be useful to have on things like pirate ships and everything, because what they used to do, they used to bring the cats aboard, they used to get rid of the rat problems. Like, there's been so many different stories over the years of people having rat and mice issues. You get a cat and it sorts it out. So if they had more cats, it probably wouldn't have stopped the plague, but it would have helped a lot with the spreading of it and just kind of unalived less people. So that would have been pretty useful. Also, did you know this started off the superstition of black cats are unlucky? And I mean, who usually owns black cats? Witches. And I mean, this created a new job as witch hunter. So Just another part in history of how women get the disadvantage end of the stick, I suppose. Also, what is it with people in power with just being obsessed with starting wars? Like, just fight out amongst yourself. This is what really, really angers me. I just think if you want a war, just go in a boxing ring and just go fight it amongst yourself, or just send each other like letters, hate mail, or whatever. Just you don't just fight amongst each other. Why you got to bring other people into it and animals, especially animals? Animals piss me off more, if I'm perfectly honest with you. How much do you love your phone? So I am shamefully addicted to my phone. I think a lot of people are nowadays. And I mean the issue with them as well, they're just so expensive, especially if you've got like a top of the range one. Like mine's literally like probably what the fourth newest one, and still it was over £1,000. But it's annoying how addictive they are. I think it's because they're just like this electric block where you have got everything so quickly, all this information. You've got videos to watch, advice, chat to your friends, just absolutely everything, music, videos, whatever you want, you've got it there. So it's just like a form of communication, entertainment. And I mean, you get your dopamine fix really, really quickly. Like, if I'm having a bad day, like sometimes I'll literally just sit there and scroll on Instagram or TikTok, and it kind of just entertains me for a bit and brings that dopamine in. So, and I mean, do you ever get that rush where you don't know where your phone is and then you're just like, oh my God, I'm panicked?
I'm panicking. Yeah, don't panic. No, I am, because I'm going to lose my job.
Like, try spending a day not with your phone. So this leads us on to our next story of a 39-year-old man from Spain who he had lost his phone and had to retrieve it. And it's the story around it which is most disturbing, of how he tried to retrieve his phone. So there was a father and son that were walking around in a place called Santa Coloma near Barcelona, and that were taking a little walk in the park, and there was some statues around. And basically they walked past this big dinosaur statue of a stegosaurus, and they were sort of walking past and they noticed a really, really odd smell, foul smell. And so the dad decided to have a little look and just probably thought, oh, it's probably just like, don't know, old trees, old like nature bits of leaves, or maybe a dead animal. So when he looked at the statue to try and figure out where this smell was coming from, he found in the leg there was a corpse. And what it basically was the 39-year-old unidentified man in the leg of this stegosaurus, where he'd basically dropped his phone, gone to retrieve it, and couldn't get out. So not so nice. There's a really similar story as well of this happening to someone in a supermarket. There were basically something like all of these fridges, and someone had basically, I don't know how they managed to lose their phone, but they dropped it behind these fridges. So they'd climbed on top of it, gone behind it, and they'd fallen upside down. So obviously all the blood's rushing to their head because they're upside down, and because the refrigerators was too noisy, no one could hear them. Maybe I'll cover that in another story at some point, because I mean there's more depth to it, and I'm pretty sure their body wasn't found for like years, and it got to the point where they'd had a whole clearance out of the shop and they'd found their skeleton, and the person was missing for ages and they never found him up until that point. So that one's a very, very gruesome one. So yeah, that one's a really, really sad one. The fact that it led to his passing, it was a really slow, unfortunate, painful death. All for the sake of a phone. It just makes you think, like, sometimes people drop phones on like literally just like train tracks and stuff. If you drop your phone on train tracks, it's annoying, yeah, but don't go to retrieve it, even if it's in the middle of a road or whatever. Even just like in the water and that, it's just not worth it. You kind of just have to weigh it up a little bit and back up your storage, which is very strong me saying that, considering my MacBook is literally like, what, I think it said something like 829 days without backup. Whoops, probably need to do that at some point, because I will lose everything and that won't be good. So our next one is about Stephen King. So if you don't know who Stephen King is, he is such an iconic author. He's done a bunch of thrillers. He's done things like The Shining and It, so the clown film. So in order to be such a successful author, I mean, just like anyone really, you kind of need something to get you in the right headspace of everything. And Stephen King's thing was to listen to a certain song. So not a certain playlist like you'd think, thinking maybe stick on a bit of classical. There's no lyrics in it, so you can just kind of get your head into it. Mine personally is listen to house sets because that just gets me going. But yeah, Stephen King's was a song, so not a playlist, not a set, a song. And the song, the song of choice, which I just think is baffling because it's just such a bizarre song. It gives disco vibes from primary school. Is Mumbo Number Five. And I mean, just for copyright reasons, I will not be putting the song in, but just give it a listen if you don't know what song I'm on about. So yeah, very primary school tune. But he would listen to this on repeat. And basically, he's got a wife called Tabitha, and they've been together for 55 years, still together to this day. They've been together since 1971, have had multiple children. Obviously, just she's been there all throughout his career. So he's probably listened to this quite a few amount of times. I mean, quite a few amount of times to the point where it was quoted that she said to him, "One more time, and I'm going to leave you." So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe he needed a bit of inspiration for his next book. Do you know what I mean? So he's obviously just thought, how can I drive my wife so insane that she'll probably just lash out and just do something crazy that will hopefully give me a little bit of don't know, just a little bit of inspiration, I suppose. I would probably be, I don't know, chucking a speaker at his head at that point because that would just drive me bloody insane, just like anyone would. I'd probably burn the house down. Bye. I just find it really funny as well because it's like if you look at Stephen King, like he looks so serious, and then it's just like that's your favourite song. Never judge a book by its cover. Pardon the pun, because he's an author. Definitely meant to do that. There was a lot of sinful behaviour happening in the 1800s in America, and there was actually a man called Lamarcus Thompson who thought, there's a lot of sinful activities going on here. There's a lot of saloons and brothels about. How can we just sort of sway people's heads from getting distracted from all of this sinful activity? We need to sort of give them some sort of clean fun. Now, they thought of the idea of roller coasters, which, I mean, roller coasters are really fun. And I mean, you're not really going to be doing some inappropriate behaviour on roller coasters unless you kind of want to. Don't know how you're going to do that, but whatever floats your boat, I suppose. And so he created the idea of roller coasters and creating them on an island. And that little island is now called Coney Island. And that's where Coney Island comes from in America. And just as a weird little fact, so I learnt this quite a while ago. I love knowing little random little facts to just pop there every now and then. Did you know that when you go on a roller coaster and you have that really weird like gut feeling, the weird belly feeling of it all, just like I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just like a really, when they go, oh, your belly's going, like when you go on a roller coaster and that is basically all of your organs floating. How jank is that? That's disgusting. I actually don't mind that feeling. I actually kind of like it as long as it's not like that for too long. I could not be in midair and it just. That does make me think though. What about when people go to space and that? They must just have that constantly. That's if people have actually gone to space. That's another kettle of fish. That could be a whole conspiracy. I'm not going to go down the line of conspiracy theories because I will literally be chatting till this microphone runs out of battery. I just thought I'd leave you with one final last story, one that will help you sleep very, very well, especially if you're a woman. There were doctors called John Atkin and James Jeffrey who invented the saw, not for what you kind of think it'd be, so like woodwork, trees, all that jazz. No, they actually invented the saw for childbirth. Yeah.
Nah.
So they were actually invented because they were able to cut past cartilage and bone that knives couldn't. So this was actually the alternative before they had some other sort of safe alternatives to C-sections. I couldn't even imagine that. Like, and the fact of they don't have like the ability, like they had the ability to sort of get knocked out and stuff, but not like we do nowadays, which is absolutely mental. Just disgusting, really. So yeah, think about that next time you're using a saw. They were used on women's bodies.
Nah.
Grim. So what have we learned from today's video then? So we've learned that, I mean, you're just going to have to pay the expensive train fare, unfortunately. You can't be sending your children via post. It does kind of make me think, what would happen now if you even tried that? I'm pretty sure you would actually just be arrested. So yeah, please don't attempt that, because I definitely think you should be in jail if you even think about something like that. So I'm just so baffled by the thought of someone even doing that. There's a crackhead out in the world that's doing that. I mean, if animals are bothering you as well, just don't go unaliving them. Just leave them to it. Just ignore them if you can. Or I mean, if they're bothering you that much, tell the owner to go get them trained, because clearly they can't be bothered. Thank the Lord that we're not in a society that they're using them kind of saws for childbirth now, because I think that would probably put me off having a child if that was the case. Though it does make me think, what's going to be like in the future? They're probably going to look back on our times and just saying, oh, how morbid that we all had to go through that. So they're probably just going to have a thing where it like zaps the baby out. I wish you could do that when you go to the toilet, because sometimes I'm just like in the car and I'm like, really can't be bothered. Just want to continue with my journey. There's phone insurance out there, so if you lose your phone, like I said earlier, or something happens to it, just don't. It's not worth the risk. There's phone insurance. You can get another phone. You'll be fine. And lastly, there's definitely more songs than Mumbo Number 5. I mean, Mumbo Number 5 back in the day was a bop when I was probably about 7. So yeah, push the boat out a little bit. Maybe have a little listen to other songs. Each their own, I suppose. You go, Stephen King.
Coco, you go, Glen Coco.
So if you've reached the end of the video, thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate the support I get. Even though I get like a little bit of views, I just like it. It's fun to me. And I really enjoy editing, and it's just one of my little hobbies. So I really appreciate the support that I do have. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And hopefully I can get another one done ASAP. But yeah, have a lovely day. Enjoy your week. Please don't take any bad advice from this video, and only take the good. Which, yeah, have a swell day. Like and subscribe. Bye. That's not right. It's £6.20 sale. Me mama, me mama. I could do some ASMR on this. Where I've got to hit the smart border, so I'm smart. It's not working. It's not. It's disgusting. I'm gonna go and get a massive bottle of wine now to celebrate that I've done a video.